I will be honest, waiting for a spot to open up on Behemoth was horrifying.
I'm not surprised by this. Not through any fault of your own. Just I am not surprised by this. Because like for one reason or another, this is the Brazilian world, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just weird that it's this one.
I wonder, because they're all hosted in the exact same data center. Like they're not scattered around the U.S. They're like all in the same place, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe it's literally just that's the one that starts with a B, so people playing in Brazil just decided, okay, that one.
I believe it's also the first one that shows up. So
Oh,
hey.
well, but I guess that might be why it's popular in general.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to. Oh right, I can finish the Weaver quest now.
Yeah.
And what else did I do? I got a bunch of. I finally cashed in my achievements after like forever. I got the Behemoth mount.
Nice.
Oh right, I also got the. I also got the leader minion, so I have a tiny Kanesena here.
Nice. Very nice.
I cashed in a couple things. So yeah, I have the Behemoth. I have. What else did I get? I thought I got another min. Oh yeah, and I got Nanamo.
Beautiful.
Tiny Nanamo.
Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, let's deliver Ramhorn zucchinis. My inventory is ridiculously full again for some reason, even though I thought I cleaned it out recently.
That's just how it works.
Once again, I think there should be a minion that functions as a summoning bell.
Honestly, it would not be unwelcome.
It also wouldn't be that unbalanced, all things considered.
It really wouldn't.
Especially if it's like hard to get. It's like, okay, if you can get this, you're allowed to have your retainers basically wherever. As for
that kind of the things that in particular strikes me as like something that they would go out of their way to make more accessible to people.
I feel like at the very least they should have like chests that you can make for housing to just put stuff in.
Yeah, aside from the Grand Company chest.
Yeah, it's just like for like a house or an apartment, just like a furniture item that stores things. Because they don't apparently. I looked it up. Closest thing is the armoire, which doesn't really work that well.
I think the reason they don't is because of how they go about sorry, I'm gonna brain fart. How they go about like when you have to delete your like if they have to like for one reason or another, if you have to delete your
character?
Not your character, your room. The room that you have to be in. Or your apartment. Herman, I think with how they handle that is that, and that's why they can't have like a weird extra storage space, is because if they have the extra storage space, because like if you have that extra storage space in your apartment, then I don't know how they'd handle it. It might be something weird with how it can't handle having that storage space and also having
You're brain completely not.
I'm just trying to figure this out too. I'm confused.
Well, I think so from what I can interpret, the problem might be when they just handle it the same way as when you stop paying for a retainer, that it just stays like as a ghost in that retainer until you buy them again.
You would think, but the issue is that like, so when you delete your apartment for whatever reason, it literally just like takes out it doesn't delete well, then again, if it doesn't delete everything and it just sends it to a different vendor, I don't see why they wouldn't just put it in the fucking vendor.
I mean, they just have it attached to the box or to your character.
Yeah, exactly. like I'm saying this, and as I'm saying this, I'm like, wait, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, just have it like attached to your character as like they have a chest. This chest has this in it, and then if you put it on a chest, it puts on that, and it just like has like an order of like this is their first chest, this is their second chest, this is their third chest.
Yeah.
I feel like they could do that pretty easily. Anyways, what resplendent zucchini! I've been staring at this for a while. I had no idea such succulent specimens could be found in the wild. Truly a testament to the splendor of nature, is it not? The zucchini plant is quite sensitive to humidity. One would never see them grow so large and luscious here in the 12s wood. Furthermore, they are quick to ripen and quicker to rot, meaning the timing is of the essence. And yet, a perfectly ripe zucchini is truly a thing of beauty. Sweet enough to be savored raw, its skin retains a pleasantly firm texture even when stewed. I suppose Yanni means to prepare a wholesome and hearty feast for our soldiers. I know. You should take pride in serving our nation, I should take pride in serving our nation this way, but I have troubled you enough. Take your harmless Yanni with my blessing. Okay, I put on my glasses.
Yay! You remembered earlier this time.
You know. Hey, Yanni. Fufusha asked me to, Fufusha assured me my 20 zucchini are on their way. Might you be the one who took their order? Okay, here you go. Have zucchini. Why, what remarkable zucchini! I've not seen the likes of these in quite some time. At the risk of sounding boastful, I dare say that my next batch of ratatouille is shaping up to be the tastiest Gridani has ever seen. I thought ratatouille was made with tomato?
I don't know.
Ratatouille has zucchini in it? I've never had ratatouille. I just saw the movie.
I've never had it either. Yeah, same. And that was a long time ago.
Ratatouille is a dish that holds a special place in my heart. It was the first recipe I learned, you see, taught to me by none other than Fusha's own mother. My father was a traveling merchant, and our family moved often when I was young. I had few friends until I moved here to Gridania, where I befriended Fusha. Hours I would spend by her side as she rooted through her garden. After sunset, we would go inside, where her mother would whip up a ratatouille that truly warmed the body and soul. To relive those days. Wait a minute, I have an idea. This is the ratatouille that inspired me to pursue the culinarian's path from such a young age. Do take a bowl to Fusha. It seems she could use something to pick up her spirits these days.
Aw.
How did you make that in the middle of the Botanist Guild?
Very, very carefully.
Well, I guess to be fair, I bring my culinarian stuff with me everywhere too, so...
Yes, you do.
If I can't, like... take out a... Yeah. I can't show... But I do literally carry around, like, a mini stove with me.
You really do. It's kind of hilarious.
I thank you for delivering the, zucchini, to Yanni. I suppose she is already slaving over a hot stove, preparing a stew that will give our warriors the stamina to fight yet another... What's that? Yanni has something for me? Special ratatouille. Why, this is my mother's ratatouille. I always knew that Yanni loved this recipe, but I had no idea she'd learned to reproduce it to such succulent perfection. This brings me back to the old days. Yes, things were so much simpler then. Now, the ratatouille that once warmed our hearts after hours spent frolicking in the garden serves to light a fire in the bellies of those who march off to war. Will things never again be the way that they were?
No.
Things aren't allowed to be the way that they were. What the... I'm not wearing shoes. What? Okay. Toadskin work boots. 14.28.
Wait, what do you... How are you missing shoes?
I don't know. I might have sold the shoes I was wearing.
Earth?
I don't know.
No, not you. There's some weird shit going on and something I just got cued into.
Lucia, I trust you, not only as a botanist, but as one who shares my dreams of bringing peace to the forest that shelters us. The Order of the Twin Adders commissioned us, from us mistletoe in staggering quantities. I need to search the vicinity of Camp Dragonhead in the central highlands of Corthus. The curative properties of mistletoe make it a vital ingredient to many salves and medicines. I cannot help but fear if your guild has once more been drawn into serving this fruitless war effort. Forgive me for being a hopeless idealist, Lucia. Could you visit the Adder's Nest and inquire with Lieutenant Gavin as to the nature of his request? I will not refuse his order, you may assure him of that. I simply wish to know. Okay. I think I have mistletoe already. Probably not as much as they need, but I have some.
Probably not.
Message. Do I? Yes, I can. Do you think that Kane Senna gets weirded out by the fact that people just have, like, little, like, robot toys of her?
I feel like all the leaders do, honestly.
No, I feel like Robon would be, like, super into it. Haha, yes, look at the tiny me.
You, I mean, I won't say you're wrong, but, like...
I have an interesting view of him in my mind.
You do. You have a very interesting view of the man in your mind.
Sluggers and slouches, the lot of them. Lucia, don't tell me you haven't noticed as well. Uneven seams, slipshot stamping. The work produced by the guild's rank and file in recent days simply isn't up to snuff. Whether it be the impending exhibition or the sole anger both the business that is distracting our craftsmen, I do not know. But what I do know is that if they don't get their act together, and soon, we're at risk of actually losing business to those charlatans. I'll not stand idly by as lack of discipline undoes the reputation that our guild has worked so long to achieve. Someone needs to remind these slouches why they became leather workers in the first place, and I've decided that person will be you. Yes, you, Lucia. Surprised, are you? Ha! I may question your skills, but not your dedication to our craft. Bring me the finest pair of boarskin ring bands you can craft, and show me that my trust hasn't been misplaced. It would be only the slightest exaggeration to say that the future of this guild, and not to mention your future, hangs in the balance. Now get to it, and show your good-for-nothing guildmates how it's done. Okay. Boarskin ring bands.
Indeed.
So, question, you can still just, like, throughout the entirety of these quests, just buy everything on the market, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I guess to be fair, you do still have to level up the, like, you have to level up the class regardless of whether or not you actually do the level up quests.
Yep.
What was I doing? Right. I was like, there's someone missing. There's something missing from this list. Turns out I forgot that the Carpenter's Guild is next to the Aetheryte Plaza.
Oops.
It's very funny the Leatherworker was kind of the one I started with. And it's currently, like, third lowest.
I was going to say, and it's the most neglected.
No, the most neglected is Blacksmith.
Oh, yeah.
Followed by Armorsmith.
Yeah, that tracks.
Then Leatherworker.
The only thing in the Sullivans that you cared about was fishing.
Culinarian's not doing too bad. Now there's Rogue.
Fair.
Timber Master Beaton's staring at me quite intently. Lucia, you minx. If I didn't know better, I'd say that Gerhard was smitten with you. He's given you another commission. It's time. This time for an oak composite bow. In case you were unaware, such a bow can only be wielded by a master archer with years upon years of experience in the field. Don't you see? You are to craft a bow for Gerhard himself. You are to give this commission your undivided attention, Lucia. While simply crafting an oak composite bow is no small feat, I will not permit you to present anything less than perfection. Have I made myself clear? Good, now go. Okay. I'm pretty sure that a bow I can make at my level isn't fit to someone like high up in the Twin Adder.
Hey, look at it this way. You're close to level cap for Endwalker.
Wait! How the hell am I a level 44 Carpenter? I just realized. I thought it was like level 35 or something.
Nope. Yeah, you're close to like. You're really close to like, the end of Realm Reborn. Honestly, at least like the not what I'd consider the post game story. Or you're almost done with the, what do they call it? The sixth Umbral era? Yeah.
One of the Umbral eras that exists.
Yes. You are currently in the 6th Umbral era.
I was born on the 7th Antumbral moon or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? I'm sure there's not 7 of them, and Antumbral isn't one of them, but 21st son of the 3rd astral moon.
Ah.
I just put myself on the first day of being a Gemini, so. Question: Do the normal zodiac exist in this, or is it just the? It's just the god. Well, but the thing is, there are zodiac weapons. So what does that mean?
See, I'm trying to think. Cause like, I'm gonna say yes and no, because
they exist. They exist conceptually, but they aren't like popularized super a lot.
Yeah. And I'll also say that an entire little side section of alliance raids you can do is literally, because it's all about different zodiac signs.
Oh, fun! Greetings,
or
Lucia.
at least, like, it's a big part of it.
Each time we meet, the part of Conjurer befits you ever better. In your previous lessons, you learned about the element of Earth. It is my desire that you next become acquainted with the wind. Travel to Full Flower Comb in the East Shroud and seek the teachings of Hearer Wolfui. Though scant few years have passed since her coming of age, Wolfui is a conjurer of consummate skill who is able to divine the will of air elementals with uncommon clarity. I can recommend no better tutor for your lessons in the mysteries of wind. Okay. I know wind, I can cast arrow. I also know Cure, Repose, and Esuna, and Medica.
I actually had to think about what the fuck Repose was for a second.
Repose is put things to sleep.
Yeah. In case you can't tell, you don't use it very often.
Oh, I've used it a ton. Basically, anytime I'm fighting two things, or two things just get aggroed to me, like, by happenstance, I just put one to sleep and fight the other one.
Oh, fair enough.
It's very useful, actually.
Yeah, but you know what? That's fair and valid.
What day is today? It's not Jumbo Cactpot Day. No.
It is
It's the opposite side of the week of that. I'm just trying to remember all the things that I need to do today. So which one's the really good one? Esna? No, Medica is the really good one.
Medica is very nice.
I'm basically a white mage already. Oh, wait, right, I can... Actually, I just realized I can assign different mounts to different classes because the hotbars change.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll summon a Behemoth for now. What? Why was it interrupted? What the... Yay! Why am I, like, so reclined on this Behemoth?
because you just gotta chill sometimes.
Something very odd about it, the fact that I'm writing something that's that's a level 50 fate. Goodbye, Behemoth. Hey, Wolfie. You must be Lucia. Brother Aesumion sent word to expect you. It should be my pleasure to instruct you in the patterns of gusts and gales. Now, how to proceed. Pray forgive my hesitation, but I was but recently that I attained the title of hearer, and, well, you are my first student. Yes, I believe I have a suitable task for you. Go east of Sweetbloom Pier. There's a small spring. Give rise to a pool. Go there and clear the air of the honeybee swarms, which lately took up residence in the area. You seem uncertain. Mayhap you wonder at the connection between my request and the subject of your study? I sympathize, Lucia, but trust me. Inexperienced though I may seem, the deed will deepen your understanding of wind. Well, you see, it's because, according to all known laws of aviation, bees shouldn't be able to fly.
And yet...
So did you know that that's actually, like, 100% not true, and the people that did that study, were drunk and used the aerodynamics of a plane instead of an insect?
Oops.
It's like, these tiny planes shouldn't be able to fly. What in the world is happening?
Honestly, that super tracks.
Thank you, She. You're a better healer than I am, I'll be honest. Okay, I murdered a honeybee swarm. Oh, I need to kill vultures. Hiya! There's some kind of weird disconnect with the fact that arrow comes out immediately, but it still, like, marks the cooldown for all my abilities, so I just have to wait longer.
Yeah.
I don't know when is, like, the best, like, rhythmically to use arrow.
Just literally whenever arrow's about to fall off.
No, but I mean, like, the first time I use it.
Immediately.
Yeah, because if I start with it, then I just have to wait twice as long for stone. But if I use stone first, then I have to wait half as long for arrow. But I didn't use arrow. So. But then after I use arrow, I have to wait twice as long for stone again, so it doesn't matter. I don't know.
I get you, though.
I'm gonna cast Esena on a northern vulture.
Do it.
Can I?
I mean, you can. You just will only target yourself with it.
Okay, yeah, I cast it on myself for no reason. So that just removes one random debuff from me?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, is that what you were doing to me when I... Oh, when I got hit with the Mortal Breath and you just used it a bunch of times?
Yep.
Okay. So is Esena the only debuff remover you get?
Yes.
There's no, like, more powerful, like, but more MP, like, remove all debuffs?
Nope.
Well, okay. Yeah, Wolfie, I murdered some honeybees.
It's the reason being is that, like, things that inflict multiple debuffs at a time are relatively uncommon. And even then, not every debuff is removable.
I feel like if you press Esuna and Medica at the same time, it should do a super cast that heals all debuffs, but costs like 1,000,000 MP.
And now you know why that isn't a thing.
Welcome back. I take it the bees are no more. Tell me, did you happen to notice many of the Violkin's preferred flowers in the vicinity of the spring? I asked because there were none. Strange, then, is it not that the bees should choose to congregate there? And what has caused this aberrant behavior? Still your mind and reach out with your senses. Can you feel it? The path of the wind veers from its natural course, sweeping hapless creatures along in its wake. Something is playing havoc with the air currents, such a disturbance bespeaks corruption. Huh. Maybe I should be worried about the fact that Garuda's just been kind of sitting around for a while.
Yeah, you know.
This is actually relatively appropriate for the story I'm neglecting. Hey, the wind is messed up. You know anything about that? Return to the spring near Sweet Bloom Pier and search for pockets of corrupted air. Should you find one, use your powers of conjuring to disperse it. There's beehives all over that place. Or, like, what's it called when it's a man-made beehive? Like, for beekeepers?
I don't know.
Oh. Is there a bee box? I don't know. Oh, level sync. Okay. I'm 4 levels behind. It's fine. I have She with me and I have Kane Senna.
I mean...
Wait, she
Kane
abandoned
Senna-
me.
I believe Kane Senna is actually a... I think she is a white mage.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what else she'd be.
Well, like, even in lore, she is a white mage.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I don't know if I should be killing these wind sprites. Oh, hey. Oh god, they've caused me pain.
Does that answer your question?
Oh, it's okay. They're very easy to kill. Hey, Sister Wolfwee. Sprite's presence is palpable. You should not face it alone. Okay. So basically, she sent me after something that was too strong by accident.
Pretty much.
On the bright side, with 2 conjurers, I don't think we can die.
That's what you think.
Give you a little health top up. Oh, wow. What? Okay. I wonder if one cast of arrow can kill that thing. It looks like it. Oh, yep. One cast of arrow can kill a wind sprite.
Huh.
What the hell is this thing?
Don't worry about it.
Don't dodge arrow. How the hell do you dodge arrow?
Because the way accuracy works in the game is that... Oh, fuck.
Oh, I didn't go. Okay. When things are higher level than you?
Yeah, if you're higher level, you have a mischance.
But it's the same level as me.
Have you considered that it is a wind sprite?
It's not a wind sprite, it was a sludge.
Have you considered that maybe I don't know anything?
Well done, the wind no longer gains its frustration. Let us return to Full Flower. Oh yeah, by the way, I got a conjurer outfit.
Oh.
Yeah. It is a
I see it.
It's a bridesmaid dress I dyed purple. I don't know why I'm suddenly wearing the Cloud Strife pants underneath it, but I definitely
'Cause it's
wasn't
Cloud Strife
before.
pants. It's Cloud Strife pants. You gotta respect the Cloud Strife pants sometimes.
You know.
Man, so we got information about Endwalker stuff
Oh.
today in terms of like classes, and like
Is Reaper fun?
Reaper looks like it's going to be fun, but I only kind of understand how that class works.
I understand it
Still.
perfectly already.
Do you?
Yeah, I played Kane last night.
Damn it.
I must apologize for exposing you to such danger. The corruption was greater than I anticipated, but it's through such trials that we flourish as conjurers. Now then, Lucia, what did you learn as you struggled within the air's grasp? You will doubtless have noticed that the wind does not strike with the instant crushing force of earth. Instead, it torments one's foes, dancing across every surface and leaving 1,000 tiny wounds in its wake. These are the agonies of erosion. Having experienced such pain, you're now intimately acquainted with the wind's capacity for patient destruction. No land is a stranger to its power. When you stand under distant skies and feel the wind's familiar caress upon your skin, remember the lessons you've learned here this day. I suppose I should be grateful that this latest elemental disturbance manifested itself at such an opportune time. Only the gods know what I would have taught you had it not. Yet the growing frequency of such phenomena begins to concern me. Yeah, maybe someone should deal with Garuda at some point.
Yeah, maybe somebody should deal with Garuda. And
well, it's true that the calamity wrought much harm upon the Toves, but I expect some other forces at work here. I bid you remain wary, Lucia. But enough of these ominous rumblings. I regret to say that your time with me is at an end. Return to Silglade Fane and report to Brother Asumi of your, and inform Brother Asumi of your newfound mastery. Oh, and be sure to thank him for sending me such a willing first student. Yeah, definitely. I don't. Some other force at play? I don't know. Possibly, when wind elementals are involved.
It's definitely not Garuda. Promise.
So why are they Sahagin and not Undines?
Because Sahagin is just a Final Fantasy enemy that's been in that they just stole from first edition.
I thought there were Undines in Final Fantasy games since the first one too, though.
Mermaids.
I don't know.
No, they're just straight up mermaids in one.
I could have swore there was an Undine. I could have swore that was an enemy you could fight in that one place. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, but I do vaguely recall there being an Undine.
I was gonna say that's very specific.
Yeah, that one place. That one. Well, to be fair, that one place. Given that we're talking about Undines, I have to assume it's a water temple.
I mean, it probably is.
Also, why are... Okay, but also in that case, why are they Amalja and not salamanders?
They are salamander.
But why are they Amalja when salamanders are the Final Fantasy enemy?
Because they needed to humanize them ish, not humanize, humanoid them.
I mean, salamanders can still be humanoid.
Yes, look at Salazzle.
That's not what I meant, and you know it.
I know it's not, but...
Also, since they take from D&D, the D&D salamanders are also humanoid. Welcome back, Lucia. The elementals inform me that you have opened your ears to the voice of wind. That as well. I don't know. I just like complaining about things that have to do with the aesthetics of elements and the classical things. Also, why are they kobolds and not gnomes?
That one I don't know. That one's weird.
Having made allies of two elements, you are well along the way the path of conjuring. The full comprehension of these forces will only come to you in the fullness of time. Be patient. As you seek to embrace nature more fully, so will nature hold you more closely. They made you study wind? Why bother? You don't need wind to heal things, whatever those dreary lessons tell you. I don't need wind to heal things. I need wind to destroy my enemies. Conjuring is...
And that's more important than healing.
Conjuring is inextricably bound with nature, Sylphie. That dreary lesson is one you should have learned by now. I assume by your presence here that you've once again abandoned your tutors. You must understand, if you insist... if you persist in casting spells without the proper knowledge... I have all the knowledge I need. My mother never needed to embrace nature to heal, and the people she helped were thankful for her art. I'll learn conjuring the same way she did, and become just as great a conjurer, you'll see. but you won't become a white mage. But I didn't come here just to argue with you, brother. Brother Asumi. I wanted to tell you that I've discovered how to cast rays. What? How? What were you thinking, girl? You know not what you do, what you risk. You are meddling with forces beyond your comprehension. Should you even attempt to use that spell, I will have no recourse but to strip you of the name of Conjurer and banish you from our halls. Do I make myself clear? Why must you be so angry with me? It's not as if I were trying to hurt anyone.
But for messing with the forces of life and death.
But that's... Sylvia, my dear child, that's precisely the point. My apologies, Lucia. I hope you do not find these constant disruptions distracting. As you have just heard, Sylvie's mother was also a conjurer who was unable to use any spells outside of the sphere of healing. Needless to say, Sylvie seeks to emulate her in every way.
And also make food.
Okay. It is a rare and wondrous talent to heal without relying on the ancient's nature, but such power is not born of true conjuring. By all that we know of the art, it should not be possible for Sylvie to cast rays. I shudder to think what would happen if she tried. I fear my inability to set her upon the true path reflects my own failings as a teacher. I'm only glad that those same failings have not hindered you. Whether it be with my help or in spite of it, I believe that you'll become a fine conjurer. Already, you are blessed with great power, and more shall be yours should you persevere with our art. As indeed I hope you shall, yet however much you grow, however powerful you become, remember that ours is a power borrowed, not taken. Odd. Hey. There you go. Okay. Conjurer done. I should ask Lass when she gets back if White Mage still uses a shield. Because I know that Black Mage can use either a two-handed staff or a scepter and shield, but I don't know if that still applies to, or I don't know if Conjurer was also updated to not use shield and wand anymore. Do I need anything else here? I don't think so. Pop over the gold saucer. I need to do my mini cockpots. I've been incredibly unlucky with mini cockpot the last couple days. I've been coming here every day to do it. I'm almost at 500,000. Well. 804.
I'm back.
It's 21. Oh, that's a good one. Hooray! Hello. Question. Does White Mage do the same thing that Black Mage did, where they stopped using shields later on?
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering.
The only reason that Black Mages and White Mages can even use shields before, let's say, during a Realm Reborn is because that is a carryover from 1.0.
Yeah, because they still have one-handed weapons and they need to balance it.
Mm-hmm.
Does the only class that uses a shield still is Paladin, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that one was a pretty good one. Aha! 10,000. Second I complain
Hey.
about my luck, I get 10,000.
I mean, typical, right?
You know. Hey, I passed 500,000.
Yay!
If I get kind of lucky in the next Jumbo Cacpot, I can get Fenrir.
Ooh.
Also, don't tell Shion, but when I do get Fenrir, I'm going to give it to her.
Aw.
I think it's tradable, isn't it?
It might be. It might not be.
I thought it was. Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Cause if not, I am definitely still going to mysterious floating cherry rumored to be famed Archon, though we saw himself. No one actually ever saw him ride it. Okay. I thought I checked that before, but just in case that it isn't. Oh, there's tons of stuff here. Just in case it isn't, I mean, I will still get it and use it and make fun of Shion for not having one then. It says unsellable, market prohibited, but it doesn't say untradeable.
True.
Because untradeable is another like qualifier they put on them, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it should be tradable.
It should be tradable.
I just can't sell them.
Yeah. Alright, I am not going to go check on my dinner to see if it is ready.
Ooh, that's a cool sword. Blood sword, gladiator's arm. Oh yeah, there. Two-handed conjurer's arm. Mindbreaker.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
It just, it doesn't, what's it? How do I brain?
I like his weapons.
The Cactuar weapons.
Ooh, that's a cool one. Colossus Guillotine.
Ooh. It is pretty good. The Gold Saucer does have some very nice weapons.
Senor Sabatender's Trident.
Oh.
Somehow I think that's not a very not a very effective stabbing tip.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the most effective.
Blade. Emperor's New Shield. Oh, that's where you get the Emperor's New Shield.
Yep. Just in case you just don't want to have a shield for some reason.
I'll be honest, I did half consider spending 100,000 on it right then. Cause listen, I have a bridesmaid dress on. A wooden plank shield doesn't exactly match it.
I don't know what you're talking about. It perfectly matches.
How many bridesmaids have you seen with a wooden plank shield? And if the answer is less than 2, I am disappointed in you.
I was gonna say 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
you're good. I need to go. Yeah, let's finish up the Weaver quest.
Probably a good idea.
What are the chances that Wawaruka gets the girl?
What do you think they are?
Well, considering that the entire Weaver quest is culminating in it, I'm assuming he probably will. Yeah, who needs to save the guild or like defeat some ancient evil or like do anything or like catch a famous jewel thief? What you gotta do is you gotta get a guy a date.
It's fine. You just have to tell him that through your work, he will achieve perfection.
Okay, well, I do get why I can't keep the patrician set that I make, because I did technically size them for a Lalafell. But I think that you should get to keep them if you're a Lalafell.
Would you believe it if I said that mysteriously, all of your clothes fit you if you Fantasia to a different race.
Well, yeah, the Fantasia potion you'll support on your wardrobe.
Yeah.
I trust you understand what's at stake, Lucia. Bring me a pair of Patrician's bottoms, a Patrician's wedge cap, and a Patrician's coatee of the finest quality. Yo, here you go. They've been sitting around my pocket for a couple days.
What? Why have you not put these sooner?
I wasn't streaming, sorry.
What? Alright, fair enough.
So, why does the purple always come up next to Red Rose and nobody else?
Do you realize... I mean, look, there's Master Rose, so, you know, he's just perfect for it.
Your garments are ready, good sir. Allow me to assist you. What does he look like? I can't... He looks like a mailman in a dystopian future. Gods almighty, is this really me?
You know, he kind of does, now that you say it.
If I may be so bold, I think this is quite possibly our finest work yet. I feel like I'm someone else. Like a prince at a fancy ball, or... Ah. Sir, I have known princes. I am pleased to say that you are nothing like they. Oh, Big Rose, I don't know what to say. Thank you. I think I'm finally ready to see Kokomo. Ah, yes, about that. I would strongly advise you make haste. I suspect Mamajaru will make his intentions known ere long. What? Are you sure? I cannot say for certain, but a little bird tells me that Mamajaru and Kokomo are at present in the Gold Court. An ideal location for a romantic proposal, wouldn't you agree? I gotta hurry. Well, there's still time. Thanks, Big Rose. Should we go after him? Lucia, be a dear and follow him. I would very much like to know how this all plays out.
Should we go after him? You read my mind.
Yeah. It's like, I don't care whether he succeeds, I just want to know what happens.
Just tell me what happens, and we'll be good.
Just please, for the love of God, tell me that he did not fall into a mud puddle on the way over.
We haven't reached that level of rom-com yet. Keyword. Yet.
He looks like a baby Sephiroth if Sephiroth was a fuckboy.
I mean...
Look at him! Look at that dumb face!
No, you're right. I'm just like... I was gonna say, is Sephiroth not a fuckboy?
No, he's a fuckman.
Ah, fair.
And then the idiot had the gall to say that I knew nothing of business, to which I replied, of course I don't. Why bother when you know the men who own them? When I speak to you, I expect your full attention. I'll teach you how to behave, woman.
He's a terrible person. Who could have guessed?
Yeah, well... You remember how I described him?
Yeah, I know.
How dare you raise your hand against a lady? Kokomo, are you alright? Do I know you, sir? It's me, Kokomo. It's Waruka. I made a few deliveries to your father's shop. Not recently, I suppose, but... Waruka? But why are you here? And why are you dressed like that? For you, Kokomo. There's something I've been meaning to tell you. I don't know who you are, but I will have you turn around and face me this... You've made a powerful enemy today, my friend. To be fair, if Warwick is good at anything, at least against other Lalafell, it is probably squaring up.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all.
I've never seen anyone stand up to Mama Jaro like that before. I suppose they lack the proper motivation. I was hoping you would come visit again, but then you kept wearing such strange outfits. Promise me you won't do that again. As you wish.
As you wish.
See,
Oh
now
my
this
God,
is a
it's
good love
Wesley.
story.
What's wrong with Princess Bride?
Hmm?
What's wrong with Princess Bride?
What did I say anything about Princess Bride?
You didn't. I just made the Princess Bride reference like right before you said that, so I was just being dumb.
There's a Princess Bride reference? I haven't seen Princess Bride in like 10 years.
Okay, we need to fix that.
Yeah, we probably do.
Cause like,
Is that the marriage one?
yes,
Yeah.
marriage.
Love. True love. What the hell is
I
happening on my
almost said
stream?
that, like, what's up?
I don't know, my bitrate on my stream just like... I just dropped 60 frames and then it went back. What the hell?
Huh? Yeah, I just saw that.
Ah, Lucia, tell me everything. Ah, I would have liked to have seen that. How did I learn of Mama Jaru's plans, you ask? From the man himself, of course. He's not the sort to keep his grand designs private. Do not misunderstand. I'm not some rank sentimentalist. I have acted only in my capacity as a weaver to help a client, just as you have. As for our young couple, well, to be frank, calling them a couple is a tad premature. Babo I will doubtless have objections given Waruka's modest origins. Nevertheless, I think our young gentleman has finally found the courage to stand up for himself. You should be proud. This could be the beginning of a beautiful relationship. One which would owe much to your skill. Well done, Mistress GameC. Well done indeed. Yo, I can wear a weaver's something. Okay, I'm at best for all of that. Weaver's giblets.
What?
These are all control. Okay, these are all control 20. Okay, so which one's the worst one I have? Okay, probably the 327. So it'd be 7 more. Control. That'd be 6. Okay. Control. Yeah. Okay. And I got a Clotho.
Yeah.
Disclose the Weaver quest of Final Fantasy 14. We're only born in order to take the next series quest. You must rescue them all in Cormorants. Complete scenario quest before the dawn. Next, talk to Redolent Rose. Okay, sounds good. Clotho!
Yeah, before the dawn is the actual end of A Realm Reborn.
Like the actual, like, okay, go on to Heavensward now.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
The quest series that begins with Operation Archon is more or less the end of the...
Like the story?
The first part, yeah.
Like the main meat of ARR ends with that.
Yeah. The sixth Umbral era will end with that quest chain. Cause that's the part of the story that you're at is it's just called the sixth Umbral era.
Fair enough.
And then the part after that will be called the seventh Astral era.
How many years have passed between ARR and Endwalker?
Nobody fucking knows.
Okay, but they're talking about the Astral eras, right? Do they just stop after this? What actually Minus Guild?
I won't say no. No, they don't. It just every Astral era goes to an Umbral era when a calamity happens.
Oh,
so,
okay, so it's not actually years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just so like the last like before it's like in 1.0 you were in the we were in the first or the sixth Astral era, but then Behemoth showed up and fucked everything up.
So we're in an Umbral era now?
Yeah.
So
which is
what?
why
So what decides that it becomes an astral area, an astral era?
uh, a a massive world-changing event.
So essentially something that changes the world for the bad makes it an umbral era, and something that changes the world for good makes it an astral era.
Bad or good, it doesn't matter which one, as long as it dramatically changes how the world is. It will just it counts as a calamity.
So then, what happened every 30 to 31 days for a while that made the astral and umbral moons?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know I know. Well, here's the thing. I know they've explained it. I just don't either have the reference material for it, or I don't know it. Because I know that there's a book that they put out that's literally called Encyclopedia Eorzea, where they literally explain a lot about characters and the world and that kind of thing.
Interesting.
And I want to say that they go into detail about the astral and umbral eras. In that, as far as we're concerned, we only really know some of them. We really only know what caused some of them.
Interesting. Yeah. Aha! I see you farther immersed yourself in the bog of alchemical pursuit. The time is ripe to once more gauge the degree of the mastery you have thus far attained. As if by divine providence, a task suited to just such a purpose has but recently landed on my workbench. The client requests the creation of 3 high-quality flasks of weak blinding potion. A sublime toxin indeed. Do not flinch from the mention of poison. If one means to learn the art of preserving life, one must also become intimate with death and destruction. So you're a conjurer is your main class. Good to know.
No, that's white mage. Conjurers are definitely more about like. Actually, no, you're right. That is conjurers. White mages are just, let me kill everything. I have glare. It's 300 potency. Let me throw it in. Let me throw it at literally everything.
Yes,
I'm a glare mage.
But with a single spoonful of the chosen concoction, alchemy can restore health or cause grievous harm. This is the perfect initiation into the deeper secrets of our discipline. Do not tarry a moment longer. To work. Didn't I make 3 high-quality weak blinding potions at some point?
You probably did. Like just knowing you.
Oh hey, elemental ward potions.
Huh? Those are things.
Oh no, I haven't. Wait. I could have swore I made this. Batfang, Batwing, and Quicksilver? I could have... Okay, well. Okay. I'll make that off stream. And you can see why every start of a stream is, okay, time to turn in all the quests I did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell last time I'm scrolling over this and thinking very, very hard.
What are you planning on doing?
I've done nothing.
Just say it. It's okay.
Also, you're not allowed to look at the stream.
You understand that's just making me look at the stream more, right?
I definitely wasn't hovering over the Thaumaturge's Guild. Actually, come to think of it, did I do that? Did I have a Marauder quest I was supposed to be doing? I don't think I did it, if so.
I mean, quite possibly.
Well, I don't have one. I guess I either didn't do it or I did do it and I forgot that I did it. I don't even know if I'm ready for the next one. It happened again. I lost another 60 frames. I just keep losing a second of footage. And it just like scrambles the bitrate for a second. I just looked over and I noticed it again. Everything was all like squared out.
Wild.
Okay, that's 15. Okay.
Just, huh?
Right, it's still kind of freaky outy. But I'm not losing frames anymore. Why is it doing that? What the hell is my bitrate? My bitrate's going... I do see it, like, going up and down, but I'm not actually dropping frames a lot of that time. 1 second. Tools.
Yeah.
Can't I... this might break everything.
This might break everything.
Why did
That's
that
a good
just...
sign.
Shh, it's okay. It's okay. How do you mix out of theater? I don't think I can... I think there's a thing I can do where it says, like, force bitrate, and, like, I make it, like, higher. But I don't think I can do that in the middle of a stream.
I would be kind of surprised if you could.
I'm gonna restart the stream really quick. and see if I can do that.
Probably a good idea.
Because I've noticed that does happen sometimes while I'm playing 14. 14 doesn't like being streamed. Okay, well, the stream's live again, because it just, for some reason, I clicked the gear, and it just... Okay, turning the stream off again for a second.
Because, like, they allowed people to, like, hey, here's stuff going on with the classes, and here's an early access. Oh, well, neat. Hello again, stream.
So do you want to know what I think was the problem?
What's the problem?
So XSplit, for some reason, had its settings set to do, an adaptive bitrate at max of, like, 2100 or something.
Okay.
According to Twitch, its recommended bitrate is 4000. So I just set it to 4000 and told it to stop doing that.
Good call.
Maybe that's always happened, but for some reason Final Fantasy XIV is just more noticeable.
I could see that.
Gotta give a lady a smoked raptor haunch.
What?
Oh, hey, look at that! My bitrate's in like the 5000s now. Hey, I wonder if that's it. To be fair, it did say that if you can go up to like 5000 or 6000, that's even better if your internet can handle it. So,
I mean, you know.
I think I just... Oh, wait, now it's going down again. I changed the bit... Okay, well...
You apparently didn't change it enough. But yeah, stuff for the media tour they showed. That, like, because like they just let people have early access to I guess beta build of Endwalker. Just like, hey, here you can have your character be level 90 in every class and mess around with it.
Interesting.
So they and so people have figured out, like, it's like they've shown off, like, hey, so this is what this class can do, this is what this class is like, etc., for that kind of thing. Oh, I forgot about the iridescent silk.
Aha! I see. XSplit at some point put out a experimental feature. That's the adaptive constant bitrate. So so whenever there's a little hiccup, it just starts dropping my bitrate like crazy to try to make sure that the stream like stays as updated as possible. So so essentially it's sacrificing video quality for keeping my stream like as little delay as possible.
Which that's nice.
It's nice when it doesn't do what it's doing. I see why it's
in testing
experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna restart the stream one more time and turn that off.
I am back.
Okay, good. Stream just started again.
Yay!
Okay, and I turned off adaptive CBR.
Yay!
Now that should, in theory... You cannot edit settings while streaming with adaptive CBR. Well, we'll see. Well, we'll see if it actually turned off, because it's acting like it didn't. But I did turn it off. I don't know. Who am I supposed to give this stupid thing to?
Which stupid thing?
The smoked raptor haunch.
I don't know.
Nanopesa. What? Oh, he's up. Oh, right. This is the guy we're supposed to impress or something.
Ah, yes. Lord Lolorito.
Remember, Lord Lolorito will accept nothing less than the best. Your smoked raptor must represent the finest available ingredients prepared with the utmost skill. Here is one. Why do I have 3? They made me. Ah, the smoked raptor's ready? Good. Now I trust you won't object to an inspection, lest you worry... lest you worry about your handiwork being defaced. My years serving Lord Lolorito have taught me how to taste with sight and smell alone. I don't think that's how that works.
Don't worry about it.
By the gods, this giant turkey is sublime. That's not a raptor.
That's a sentence and a half.
That's not a raptor. The marriage of cracked pepper and sun lemon begets an irresistible fragrance that perfectly complements the aroma of the meat. The flavor is rounded out with a mellow fruitiness of olive oil, which also lends the shank a lustrous sheen that tantalizes the eye. I have resided over Lord Lolorito's dining table for many years, and I can say without reservation that this is the most delectable smoked raptor I've ever had the pleasure of not eating. It is of little wonder why Master Linksath deemed you fit to cook in his stead. I doubt that even he could have delivered a better rendition of my master's favorite dish. You, madame, are quite the culinarian. Ah, but I sense you are more relieved than flattered. Hardly surprising, I suppose. Much and more said of my lord's uncompromising approach to cuisine. While I will not refute the rumors, you may rest assured that the Bismarck has no cause to worry. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I must see my lord's meal delivered to him. You may look forward to hearing his judgment anon. And entirely without trepidation. If my senses do not, and entirely without trepidation, if my senses do not fail me. Pray send Master Linksath my compliments. Okay.
I had something witty to say, but I lost it.
Ain't that always the way?
Yeah.
You did it, Lucia. You impressed the pants off Lolorito's butler. Nona Pesa knows... Nona Pesa knows his master's taste better than his own, and his approval is all the assurance I need. The guild's safe, and it's thanks to you. You never cease to amaze me, Lucy. You came to us with an area any knowledge of cooking, and now you're like second left hand. Well, that didn't come out right. What I meant to say was, you're as useful to me as the hand I hold my skillet with. Somewhat no culinarian can do without. I've got in you to be one of the finest chefs of this realm, and I would see you fulfill your potential. Promise me you'll keep at your cooking. Okay.
No, don't worry, Chef Man. Knowing her track record, she'll be doing a lot of cooking long before she saves the world.
Don't worry. I turned my velveteen half gloves into velveteen short gloves.
Ooh.
Pretty soon I'll have an actual velveteen glove.
Impossible.
Why did I... Well, to be fair, I guess Crassus Conning does actually make sense. It's Gatherer's Guile that's not that great. 1 GP really does nothing for you.
It really doesn't.
Crassus Conning can possibly save you.
Well, I was gonna say, now, if that was for GP, or CP...
If it was for MP, I would enjoy it immensely.
Just to have 10,001 MP.
Yeah, just to fuck with people, basically.
I respect it. Fun fact, before Shadowbringers, every class had, like, different MP amounts.
Hi.
I know! Because, like, casters had more MP. But depending on what caster you were, you had different amounts of MP.
And my bit rate's in the 7,000s now.
Dear lord!
Oh, and as I say that, it dropped into 3,000 again. Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
I don't either.
I'll have to look into it more off stream.
That's just wild.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be hovering generally around 4,000 now, which I'm fine with.
That's where you want it to be at, I think.
In theory.
You know.
There's no... Oh, wait, right, I need to... Right, I accidentally used that steel ingot I was supposed to have for the quest.
Oops.
You know, it's fine, it's a steel ingot.
Are you fucking serious?
Can I make another one? I don't have any iron ore. Okay, well... Wait, is iron ore one of the things I can buy from here?
I think so.
I think iron's the last one they let you buy. Yes. You know what, just give me 10. Getting iron ore is annoying. Only one place on the planet has iron ore.
For some reason.
This might be done. Okay, no, wait. I pressed the wrong button, so it is dumb.
Whoops.
Oh no.
Feels bad.
That ruined it, didn't it? Oh god. Oh no. Oh, that's not gonna work. Oh. I also need to rely on a rapid synthesis now.
That's not ideal.
Only 18% high quality, too. I completely messed this up.
Yeah, that's
just because I accidentally hit control, so I used observe instead of tricks of the trade.
Oops.
Okay, well. You know, synthesis failed. I'm fine with that. I'll be honest. I didn't actually lose anything.
That's good.
I don't know what decides whether or not you lose something.
I don't either.
Yes. Okay. This one's actually going good.
Good.
Just in case. Okay, perfect. This is how it was supposed to go. I miss what's called Byregot's Blessing.
Which blessing?
Okay, 91% I got a normal steel ingot.
Welcome to crafting and gathering.
Byregot's Blessing.
Yeah, Byregot's Blessing is very nice. Said while she was making something that with Byregot's Blessing, as in helping with that.
God, I really need that Master's Mend. Oh great, well Excellent doesn't do anything for me here.
Rip.
Excellent doesn't do anything for Observe. Or for Tricks of the Trade. Because it just goes to Poor, and then it has to go to normal after that, so it's wasted.
I do kind of wish that, like, if you use Tricks of the Trade on an excellent, you'd got more GP out of it.
It would make sense.
It would make sense. Which is why it just feels weird that it doesn't.
Okay, you know what? 28%. Well, high quality.
Hey.
At least my luck is consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Brithiel? Don't you... Wait, wasn't that Brithiel? Material Enhanced Crossbeam Hammer. Oh, no, it's armor. Well, I made it with Blacksmith, but that doesn't matter. Yo, Ananza.
I was gonna say, I think as long as it got made, I don't think they care.
Well, I need to go get something for Battaron, apparently, because I accidentally took her other quest.
Oops.
Let me turn in my quest, please!
No.
Hello? Ananza, you... Wait. Wait, I don't have to go... I'm just dumb. I have a headache already. Why have I done this? I need to give it to
okay.
Blendsteer.
It's okay.
You deliver that ingot, lass? I ain't one for idle chit-chat. Take your dumb steel ingot.
Literally throws the ingot at his face.
Shoves it in his mouth. The weight feels right. Let's head inside and have a look, shall we?
She was actually a cat.
Aha! I knew you were up to the task, lass. You can't forge steel much purer than that. It's common enough material, of course, and no self-respecting armor should have any trouble working. Well, it's the quality of these common materials that makes a difference between crafting a workday piece and a masterpiece. No matter how shiny you polish it, your work can never be more mediocre if stuff you make it from is second rate. That's not true. Anyway, I can see you've already learned that lesson. I swear, every time our paths cross, you're twice the armor you was before. And yet, Ananza has a talented lass like yourself tidying up after a bungling bloody novices, instead of giving you the freedom to master your craft. Makes my blood boil, it does. If our guild's to survive, it's got to be able to serve its customers' needs. Any buggers don't contribute to keeping the roof over our heads don't deserve to work under it. Well, we do live in a cave, so I don't know what you want. I've not but respect for you, Lucia. You're a kind of armor this guild needs more of. But tell me true, are you really content to waste your career wiping the arses of Hananza's squabbling babes? Squallen? I think it said squallen. Your talent's been buried under a mountain of mediocrity. It's high time you did something about it. As to what? Well, that's for you to decide. Ignore whatever you're saying, because I don't particularly care.
There you go.
Give me a new hammer, give me your gold piece, and leave.
I can't. I work here.
Does he?
Apparently. They keep trying to tell him to leave, but like for whatever reason, he just doesn't.
Ever seen that creepy old man just like hanging outside the Armorer's Guild?
Yeah, it's super weird. I don't understand why he's there. It's kind of freaking me out.
An iron crossbeam hammer? Materia enhanced iron. Oh, good. He gives me an iron crossbeam hammer for giving him a materia enhanced one.
Yep.
Well, at least this one I actually do technically get to keep.
Technically. And trust me, throughout A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, that will be a common occurrence.
Iron. Where the hell is the iron crossbeam hammer? It's an initiate's crossbeam hammer. Steel crossbeam hammer. Iron. Chocobo. Chocobo tail. What the? Where? Iron crossbeam hammer to Brithael. Wait, I can... It's a level 18 blacksmith. Keen? What the? Okay. Yeah, I don't have any. Okay. I don't have any elm lumber. Have 1 undyed cotton cloth, and have 5 ingots. I don't care enough. There's only a certain amount of tomfoolery I allowed. I wish I could take another Fisher quest. By the time I get the ability to, I'll be able to do 3 in a row.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's all I needed to do.
Woo.
Right, I did. I vaguely recall. I think those are all the ones I just picked up. Yeah, botanist. And then, yeah, crossbeam hammer. It's whatever. Stuff that falls behind stays behind.
I mean, honestly, not a terrible mentality to have.
Oh, because my main way of leveling up is... What did they Denver? Will we be boarding their ship? Is it... Can we board it? Oh, 8 p.m. Is there one right now?
Is there?
8 a.m. 8 p.m. Northern Strait of Murthor. Wait, no, that's the third... Yes. Ruthlin Sound. Right now. I just came over to check the schedule.
It might be gone at this point.
Well, you know. It has the thing above his head. So.
Then maybe not.
It's fine. I could not go on with my current inventory anyways.
Fair enough.
That's not what I came over here for anyways. Welcome to the Arcanist Guild. It's here that we research and develop the field of Arcanima.
How did I know?
Arcanima is the science of employing arcane geometries and intricate patterns that map and unlock mysteries of existence, draw forth and manipulate the body's etheric energies. For an arcane art built on structured thought and precise reasoning, then your discerning intellect may find home here at our guild. Might you consider enrolling yourself as an initiate? Ah, just as I predicted. Before we proceed any farther, however, let us first feed your appetite for knowledge with a morsel of guild history. The roots of Arcanima. Arcanima. The roots of Arcanima can be traced back to the esoteric calculations practiced by the people of the South Sea Isles. It was these island folk that first discovered the method, a method to express natural phenomena with mathematical terms. Building on this process, the existing mathematical formulae were further developed into arcane geometries, precise patterns that allow a practitioner to weave aether into specific magical effects. The mages who invoked this new form of magic became known as Arcanists, and the school of Arcanima was born. Many such mages, wishing to expand their understanding of the world, took to the seas boarding trading vessels. Upon their arrival in the Salamanca, Arcanists found themselves welcomed into the academic elite, and soon secured positions in the realm of governance and council. The knowledge of an Arcanist, however, is traditionally passed on from master to chosen disciple. As such, Admiral Merylwib, counting several wielders of Arcanima among her personal staff, became concerned that this exclusionary practice would lead to an eventual extinction of the art. So, at the Admiral's express orders, an official Arcanist Guild was established, and funding was provided for research and training. The complex and demanding nature of Arcanima, however, remains the greatest threat to its own future. If you invite such cerebral challenges, then you have but to reaffirm your commitment to joining our guild. Well, have you decided to enroll in our guild, or are you now intimidated by the thought of excessive thinking? Your sound judgment is to be commended. Now, standard practice dictates that I introduce you to our guildmaster, that you might
Hold
convey
on.
your intentions in person.
Can I just say that, like, are you intimidated by the thought of excessive thinking? Lady, I do that, like, every day anyway. If that terrified me, I wouldn't be around
Due to
anymore.
extraordinary circumstances, however, he is unreachable at present. Instead, you may speak with Mistress Thubbergene. She has shouldered full responsibility for the guild's leadership in the interim. You'll find her just over there at the bookshelves. You needn't be shy. Though her mind is sharp and critical, her manner is always most welcoming. Yes, I am Thaubergene. Greetings and welcome to the Arcanist Guild. As Mori has doubtlessly explained, I am serving as acting guildmaster until our wayward leader deigns to return. I assume our capable receptionist also spoke of its origins? Allow me then to expound upon its nature. Arcanima taps into the living energies of Aether. The evidence of this is represented most aptly, perhaps, by our ability to manifest the arcane entity Carbuncle, and the manner of magic, the manner of magic which this ethereal ally employs at our command. The core of the discipline, however, is found in the pursuit of definitive solutions to any potential quandary. Even on the field of battle, nay, especially on the field of battle, this principle takes precedence. If one wishes to make certain the question of victory, then one must apply the most effective strategy. An Arcanist is measured by her ability to calmly analyze the situation from moment to moment and respond with the most appropriate spells at hand. Oh, so it was bad when the second I got Topaz Carbuncle, I just used that all the time. Then when I got Ifrit, I just used Ifrit all the time.
Yeah, it was really bad.
No, I was fine. Shh.
No.
The study of Arcanima will test your mental faculties at the point of perplexity. Are you prepared to reason your way through predicament after predicament? Yo, I ain't about reason. I see. Though I commend you on coming to such a realization before joining the guild, I must admit to a measure of disappointment. Should you have a change of perspective, pray do not hesitate to seek me out once more. Yo, fuck reasoning. Who uses reason around here?
Right?
So how long did I have you going that I was going to become an Arcanist?
The entire time, honestly. I'm not even gonna pretend. I thought that you were gonna do that the entire time, and I thought that you were just gonna stick with it, and I was just, I had just already accepted it.
You're just out of luck. Another thing to distract me from the main quest.
Oh.
It's fine. Maybe I'll figure out what reason means later.
Maybe. Until then, something.
I just love how the question is, are you prepared to reason?
No. I'd like to imagine that just like
let me think about it. It's like,
Or-
well, this isn't very hard of a question. Are you prepared to, like, reason your way through things?
No, hold on. I need a moment to think about this. All right.
Okay, come back later, please.
I see you need a lot more time to think about this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Remember how I said that Arcanists need to think on their feet, like in the middle of battle, and have good reactions and thoughts. Maybe you should.
Thinking intensifies.
Well, yes, I'm Professor Lambertaint. Beg pardon? You wish to hear about my research on corrupted crystals? Truly? Well, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to discuss my work with a fellow woman of science. Give me silver. So rare it is to find fellow intellectuals in this region. 'Tis even rarer to find one capable of comprehending the nature of corrupted crystals. Come to think of it, there was another, a hermit whom the church had given sanctuary. Curious fellow, unsociable, rather daft at first impression, yet possessed an amazing affinity towards scientific pursuits. Oh, whatever that was.
Hmm.
But to the matter at hand. Did you say you wish not to conduct field observations, but to harvest a corrupted crystal? Egads, woman. At least take the necessary precautions so that you do not suffer from exposure to its harmful energies. I'm beginning to wonder if you've sufficient qualifications to handle such hazardous materials. Still, your ignorance is somehow endearing. Luckily for you, I have precisely the means by which these inherent dangers may be averted. Simply store the crystal you seek within this warded pot to protect yourself from its deleterious effects. Though I suppose you'll be bombarded with its energies until you place it within the vessel. Well, perhaps it shall motivate you to work quickly. In any case, take the pot to Hasako, a student of mine monitoring the flow of Aether at Highbridge. Explain to him your quest, and he shall instruct you in the finer points of crystal harvesting. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it'll go great. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Why does the Behemoth move so slow compared to the Chocobo?
Because it's covering the same amount of distance in bigger steps.
It looks so dumb when it's moving. They really did just base all mount speeds off of what looks most natural for a Chocobo, didn't they?
Pretty much.
That's very valid. That just makes me... That just makes me want them to make, like... Okay. They should make, like, the little, like, wind-up people. Just, like, choose one.
Hmm?
What the... Residence remaining supplies remaining? What the... What's happening here? What the hell? Why are there so many cheer churn?
Ah, I see you ran to a fate.
Yes, what? There's like 80 cheer churn just running at this, like, bridge.
They need stuff. They have, and the people that they're going after have stuff.
Oh, anyways, they should make a mount that's like a wind-up Raubon that just puts his hands up and you just like sit on him and he just runs. Can you just imagine the little sound just like... Just pitter-patter of tiny little feet as Raubon carries you around places.
I don't know how to respond to that, honestly.
How many times must I be made to explain myself? I'm not contemplating suicide, you imbecile. I have chosen this precise position to perform scientific measurements.
What's the difference?
Here's a water pot. No, wait, here. Containment vessel? This is the handiwork of Professor Lembertaint. You thieving knave, I shall call for the... Oh, you say the man himself lent it to you? Then you must have sought me out per his instruction, which means he believes me experienced enough to expound upon his explanations. At last, the recognition I so rightfully deserve. Fate failed. Okay.
Meh. They probably deserved what happened to them anyway.
Oh right, I forgot. I don't have the Dragoon chess piece.
Nope.
Why is that? Wait. I just thought of something.
Oh.
No, it definitely... Card chain. Why does this... Oh, it's because it's not... It doesn't give as good of stats, but it's like 80 more defense.
That is indeed how it works.
Oh, so I can't wear a Mythical Cuirass. Why did I think that I could? But also I have the Karn Chainmail.
Shrug.
Ooh, the Karn Chainmail looks good.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of it looked like a lot of the dungeon stuff does look good.
How many Karn things did I get? I got a... Because we did that off stream just because I needed to do it for my thingy, but... I got my thing.
Your hunting log for the...
Yes.
For the Immortal Flame? Or not the Immortal Flames, the Twin Adder?
Yes. I got like a bunch of pieces of stuff. For something. How did I get a Dalmal skin bush hat? Oh wait, that's my fisher thingy. Okay, that's the fisher thingy that you gave me. I was like, why do I have a level 55 hat? I was very concerned for a second. I thought I got something else. Oh, I got the Aurum Lake Guards. Why are those? Well, to be fair, I do get the Draken stuff, so... Draken... And the Draken stuff can only be worn by a Dragon, so basically that's probably the best I'm gonna have for, like, forever, right?
For a while. Eventually, somewhat quickly-ish, you'll get stuff that will just outpace it in terms of stats and defenses.
Do I just get new Draken stuff in later expansions? Like new Dragoon armor?
Yes. You will always be given for completing your
Dragoon quests?
For completing your job quests, or in Shadowbringers the role quest, you will be given a set of gear for your class.
Oh, cool.
And after A Realm Reborn, that gear will also include a weapon.
Ooh, fun. Oh, from joyous day, Kalukale! That I should be chosen to guide this woman. Yes, I, Hasako, the great Professor Lambertain's pupil, the greatest of Professor Lambertain's pupils. She'll see that you successfully quarry your quarry. Your timing is impeccable, in fact, for I was just preparing to procure corrupted crystals from the burning wall for my personal research. There, the devastating destruction caused by the calamity has blessed us with a bounty of sublime specimens. But something tells me that not but a perfect peace will satisfy your high standards. In which case, you must needs descend to the deepest depths. Amid the flowing waters and murderous Mirrorites lies the most fantastic formation I have found thus far. Take this highly advanced researcher's tool and use it to separate a small fragment from the larger cluster. Place it within the watered pot and bear it back to me for inspection. The path which leads to Burgundy Falls to the base of the burning wall is treacherous and terrifying, but advance with caution. With appropriate caution, you shall surely survive. Don't worry, I've been there like tons of times. That's where I get gold ore from. Speaking of which.
Oh yeah, you could probably just stealth your way there.
Well, there is a unspoiled mining node down there, but I have this sinking suspicion that it might disappear at 6 a.m.
Yeah, probably.
Which one is that? Yeah, I do need to call it back. Right? No, it's this one. What is this one? Oh, gold sand. I need that for making good grimoires. I'm actually at 100% for that. Wow.
Oh, damn.
Hooray! So what is this deep vigor? Increases the chance of obtaining go down to 100%. Does not apply to item. We activate after change. Okay, deep vigor. Oh, so I just get them at 100% now. Okay.
Yeet.
Sweet. So at that point, it might be more useful to use solid reason instead of boosting my high quality, because that will guarantee that I get 2 high quality, no matter what.
Yeah, that tracks.
My minor outfit looks really dumb right now. It's such a random hodgepodge of pieces now.
I was gonna say just a little bit.
Don't worry, I just need the rest of the raptor skin set with its odd yellow accents. So this is where you're supposed to go to this part. Yeah. So these are all just normal crystals. These aren't the corrupted ones everywhere.
No, the corrupted ones are further down.
Oh. How do I... Oh, God. Hi, Mirror Knight. I had to kill some of you.
Indeed. That's where it is.
How do I... Can I please just jump down? I see it right there. How the hell do I get down there?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't...
I do kind of recall it being a somewhat windy path.
Well, it's a windy path to get into here.
Hmm.
What in the world? I wish I could fly.
Alas.
Aha! It was hidden. Oh, that's the... Okay, that, like, curves... Okay, that's the hint. This map is dumb.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so this is where you're supposed to fish. I was fishing from, like, way up there.
I respect.
Yeah, this is where I got the dragon pole.
Nice.
Why is there a Bagoli?
Because there can be.
Hello. My level's too high? Well, let's fix that. Let's murder Bagoli.
Murder it.
Murder. Loving romance is completely focusing on the other person. So I just kind of have to stand here.
As you do.
Hooray! The Big Bagoli theory. Hey, I'm almost level 50.
Nice. Oh, that's why.
Okay. You die. How dare you peck at me while I'm trying to do things. Absolutely did not need to life search that one. But I wanted blood.
Hey, whatever. Oh yeah, you're really close to 50.
They do realize that I am a level whatever level 50 something minor, right? That they didn't need to give me a coring maul because I have like 8 of them. That are probably better.
Probably, but at the same time, no.
See, these are like the little things that I wish they like read your subclasses and Ben could just add in like, oh, but a minor of your level should have no problem.
Right. I get where you're coming from with that. It just, I feel like a big part of the part of the reason why they didn't do that is because like it's an MMO and they're already trying to do so much with it.
I'm gonna be fair, the problem with an MMO isn't putting in a line of dialogue.
No, it is not.
Hello, floating stone. D is for dead. Okay. I won't question what that quest is about. Oh yeah, I wonder if there's a, Nope. Is there a new one? Oh, and actually, I should stick around this general area, because, gold ore is actually at 9 AM, I think. Need that rose gold, so I can make a... Wait, did I make that? Did I get the peacock ore? I can't remember if I did that. I need to get a high quality rose gold ingot so I can make a... So I can give it to a guy to give me the recipe for making a rose gold cog, so I can give it to him to give me a goldsmith hammer. Didn't I? No, I don't have any Pico for yet. Okay, yeah, I didn't do that yet.
Inclusion, cuisine set.
I see you've come galumping back. Have you the crystal then? No, I just came back for no reason. Oh, what a prodigiously large and lovely crystal! Professor Lambertain will doubtless chortle with joy when you present it to him in person. Oh, and upon your return, do remember to recount how I helped you in your harvesting. Okay. Oh, that would have been bad. Thank you for invisible walls, because I almost just jumped into a gully.
Whoops!
You know, that's not a gully, that is a legitimate canyon. I actually can't see the bottom of it now that I look. Why in the world is this here? Did Behemoth do this?
I mean, aside from construction, or...
The giant canyon?
Of that?
The giant bottomless canyon that this bridge goes
Oh,
over?
yeah. Don't worry about that.
I think Behemoth did it.
Uh,
It's safe to say that Behemoth did most large gashes in the landscape.
it's pretty safe to say that, yeah.
These definitely never happen naturally, right? That would be horrifying.
What? No, no. And then every... I don't think geologist is the right word, but then every nature person got really mad at us.
Nature person? No, geologist?
I don't
know. Geologist would be... Well, it would be a... Oh, what's it called? A seismologist.
Seismologist.
My keen scholar sense tells me you've obtained a cryptic crystal, am I right? Here you go. If you will grant me a moment to examine the crystal. Ah, it is as you desire. The corrupted crystal overflowing with... a corrupted crystal overflowing with wind-aspected aether. Remind me, for what purpose did you use this crystal again? What? To breach a barrier comprised of wind-aspected aether? Oh dear, that may prove problematic, as this crystal will only serve to strengthen the barrier. I suppose I am at fault for not inquiring as to your objectives from the start. Had I known your intent, I never would have sent you to Hahasako. But what is science if not trial and error? And can you truly say that this failure has taught you nothing? Think, woman.
Yes!
You now understand the methods necessary to safely collect a corrupted crystal. You will doubtlessly have no difficulty doing so once more. What's more, the crystal you collected can serve as an invaluable resource for the ethereal studies conducted by the students of Baldesian. You've heard of them? Well, I don't mean to boast, but I have a professional relationship with the organization. Not as equals, of course. I would never be so bold as to claim that level of expertise. Are you alright? Your eyes seem to have glazed over for a moment. Anyway, I shan't keep you from your task. You're still a cryptic crystal to find.
Yeah, go on. Keep going. Yeah,
No, I might as well. I don't have. Yeah. Just stuff.
Oh, wait. Cryptors.
Corrupted crystals of sufficient size and strength are not all that common, I fear. Fortunately, one of my students, Kana, claims to have discovered another promising site in eastern Lenosia. Wait, that's not correct. Eastern Lenosia was where she was nearly killed when wandering too close to an Imperial castrum. Haha, now that made for an amusing anecdote. It was western Lenosia, Ferros Sirius, on the Isles of Umber, to be precise. I can't recall her exact reasoning, something to do with the one at Dalamud's Talons or some such nonsense. What I can say for certain is that she is still in Aleport attempting to gain access to the Isles. Why not travel there and see if Sena's, see if her inquiries bear fruit. If you can look past the crass and violent ways of the local pirates, you might find time there to be quite pleasurable. Oh, and do not forget to take your makeshift watered pot, lest you think you weren't prepared for the task.
Reminder that Dalamud was Bahamut's prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... Talon?
What's up?
Talon?
Yeah. Like, so you remember how in the cinematic...
There were a bunch of stuff... There were a bunch of, like, spikes sticking out of it?
Yeah, one of those things.
Okay. Did it land over there when Dalamud exploded?
I mean, a bunch of parts...
Yeah,
a bunch of parts just flew off of it. And landed in different areas, which is why PvP stuff is revolved around all that. Is revolved around parts of it, I should say, at least.
I never did the Aleport leave them or whatever it's called.
Yeah, are they missing anything?
Leave them meat. To be fair, I kind of am, because I do kind of need one for every level for when I'm leveling up classes.
Fair enough.
Hey, Sena. Ooh, Sena's pretty. Corrupted crystals? Madam, I have no interest in being the butt of your jokes. So if you know the reason for addressing me, kindly leave me be. Here's a watered pot. Well, I'll be damned. Professor Lambertine did send you. Beg your pardon, it seems we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Sena, greatest of the professor's pupils, which is doubtless why he bid you seek me out. Indeed, I am an accomplished scholar with an extensive background in... Oh god, just listen to me prattle on and on. I must have given this introduction a dozen times by now. I love how every single one of his pupils says, ah, yes, the greatest of his pupils.
I was about to say, I feel like I've heard this song and dance before.
Yeah, you know. She just died.
Poor she.
Come back.
There she goes.
Special greens. Okay. As I told the professor in many missives, I believe that that the area surrounding Pharaoh Sirius is replete with corrupted crystals of exceptional strength. Unfortunately, I've yet to test my hypothesis, as all access to the Isles of Umbra is prohibited at present, for reasons unknown to me. You see, my attempts to acquire this information are often met with annoyance and disdain. It's rather puzzling, since I always take the time to explain my motivations in great detail to the subjects of my questioning. Mayhap you'll have better luck wresting information from these yellow jackets. I've all but given up at this point. You see, I would say that I'm high enough in the Twin Adder that I could probably tell them what to do, but also I remember that I'm part of the Thieves Guild, and the Yellow Jackets kind of don't like me right now.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets are kind of like... Yeah, how about no?
I'm a second Serpent Lieutenant. I could boss the Yellow Jackets around a little.
Here's the thing. The Yellow Jackets are Limsa's police force, not Gridania's.
Yeah, but I'm still important to someone who... I am... So as my level in the Twin Adder, I would have a little bit of... Not say, but a little bit of... credence with the Maelstrom. And even though the Yellow Jackets don't 100% listen to the Maelstrom, like that's not like their boss necessarily, but they do respect the Maelstrom. So I have a little bit of sway over the Yellow Jackets.
You're really reaching there. I appreciate it, but you're really reaching there.
Listen, I just want to tell the Yellow Jackets what to do.
I respect that.
Ah, you startled me. Don't you know better than to sneak up on a person at a time like this? What with all this, fatuous gossip of spirits and specters haunting the Isles of Umbra? Just because I know it's nonsense doesn't make it any less frightening. Okay. Well, I got your information. I didn't say a word.
Look, sometimes you just need to spook people and they say everything themselves. Some people are not very smart.
Did you know that if you... Did you know this is actually a fact of life? If you startle a Yellow Jacket, they actually say... they're actually forced to say whatever's on their mind at the current moment. You're keen on traveling to the Isles of Umbra? Bloody hells, lass. You drunk or just crazy? Ain't nothing but death, death, and more death.
Sounds like my kind of place.
To be fair, it doesn't sound like the Isles of Umbra are, closed. It just sounds like they don't want anyone to go over there because they'll die. Which sounds like it's not a problem for me. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm a second Serpent Lieutenant. I should be allowed in the Isles of Umbra.
The answer is no.
Oh, hey, this is where that lady got her book thrown in the ocean.
Ah, yes. The Arcanist quests.
Yeah. The Isles of Umbra? What interest have you in that godforsaken place? Ever since we were forced to abandon Pharaoh Sirius, the Isles have become not more than a graveyard for ships unable to navigate the shores, and a purgatory for the souls dragged down to the depths with them. Oh, I found prison.
You found prison. Is that what you said?
I finally found a prison somewhere in existence in this world. For all the people that are taken into custody, this is the first time I've actually seen a jail cell.
I mean, you know.
Turns out it's just kind of by the dock.
Yeah.
It's literally just like a hole carved into the wall that they put a gate in front of.
Yeah. They didn't try very hard.
To be fair, they don't need to.
They really don't.
Ah, Lucy, you've returned. Tell me of your findings. Really? Infested with the undead, you say? That is very, very interesting development. Excuse me for a moment while I gather my thoughts. Might that have something to do with the corrupted crystals everywhere?
It certainly might.
Worry not, my friend. I have given your findings thought, and I've concluded that this talk of spirits is not more than local folklore. As for why all travel to the Isles of Umber is restricted, well, mayhap it's considered too dangerous, owing to the abandonment of her Sirius. Yes, well, anyways, while you were questioning those yellow jackets, I paid a visit to a local pub. Yeah?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Since even an esteemed scholar like myself enjoys dulling her wits on occasion. It was there that I heard tell of a man named Skyfrian. Skyfrian? Yeah, Skyfrian. Who was recently detained after returning from, wait for it, the Isles of Umbra. This is the first I've heard of someone actually traveling to and from there, so I'm curious as to how he obtained permission. Mind having a chat with him in my stead? He was arrested after all, so I'm somewhat reticent to approach him myself. Okay. Does this have to do with the jail cell that we were just talking about?
I heard my brother pop the fuck off, and he and his group just cleared one of the hardest fights in the game.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
How long until I do that?
Well, the one that they just did, you have to be level 74, and you have to clear...
This man wasn't in here a second ago.
And to clear the hard version of the final fight over the first part of Stormblood's raid tier.
Question.
Yes?
Why did they make me go over here to talk to the Yellow Jacket right next to this jail cell? To confirm that this man wasn't in this jail cell just a second ago, to then make me come over and talk to this man that wasn't in the jail cell.
Yes. No, that's it. That's just it. Just, yes.
I have to go back. She calls to me, sings to me. Tell me, Midona, I'm sorry. Give him this. He was right. Or you could release me? Yes, release me. I will go and tell her. Let me go to her. Okay. Give me a chocobo feather.
Chocobo.
I'm honestly not sure how efficient that is. I'll keep doing it though. I do wonder if the time it takes for me to flip my camera around to do the backwards flip does actually save me any time at all.
I think it does a little bit, yeah.
What if I'm currently sprinting and therefore wasted a second of my sprint to do it?
It's still more distance than you would have covered with just your sprint.
Maybe. What did Skyfriend have to say? That's not terribly helpful. I couldn't care less how much he misses his favorite bar wench. But what was this about a man named Mimidoa? Wait, I know that name. That's the bastard who grabbed my arse the other day at the pub. Well, if you want to give him that feather, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere near him and his wandering hands. It's okay, I'll stab him while I'm there. You know, after I get my information.
I mean... No, I got nothing.
Another initiate, are you? No, what's up? Speak up, Missy. I can't hear you. Here's a feather. Eh! Look at me, is this what I think it is? Nah, it couldn't be. You found this, you say? Where'd you say you found it? Skyfriend, you say? I was hoping to have a word with the lad, but it sounds like there's not left twixt his ears. He was supposed to patch up Pharaoh Sirius, he was. Company sent me to supervise a lot of them. Weren't getting work done on their own. See, half of them walked off, half of them ran off, half of them up and vanished. What's that? You been looking for a passage to the Isles of Umbra? Why didn't you say so? I've been thinking of dispatching someone to take a look on behalf of old Mimidoa. Tell him how the land lies. Ain't nobody been interested till you came a-calling. Whole port's up in arms about spirits and so forth. If I had the gill, I'd hire some sellswords and let 'em sort it out. But you'll do in a pinch. You will. Show this parchment to the skipper and he'll see you there and back. Okay.
Fun fact, you go there as part of the Red Mage questline.
So I couldn't do the Red Mage questline until I got this far, at least.
Yes.
Can you start the Red Mage questline before finishing ARR?
Yes. You just have to be level 50.
Interesting.
Same with like Gunbreaker, Dancer, and Samurai.
Oh.
You just have to be that level.
What about Blue Mage?
To I think you can start Blue Mage when you hit 50.
Yes, almost there.
I don't know.
So you went and had a word with Mimidoa? I hope the valuable time you saw fit to waste amounted to something. Permission for passage. You mean that disgusting creature was Skyfrin's superior? Or Skyfrin? I keep saying Skyfrin. Skyfrin's superior? I find that hard to believe, but this rite of passage does appear to be genuine, so it must be true. I must say, it is a relief to work with such an industrious woman as you. Look forward to hearing of the discoveries you make on the Isles of Umbra, without me. Okay, fair enough.
You know,
no,
without
my
her.
soda. It's empty.
Rip.
Hey everyone, if you go to McDonald's right now, you can get any size soda for $1.
I would, but there's a Wendy's that's closer.
But do they have any size soda for $1?
True.
See, this was the thing. Every day before work, I would stop by McDonald's because you can't beat $1 large soda for the start of work.
You really can't.
Also,
that extra sugar and caffeine is just...
Well, I got a diet one because I'm me, but you know.
Still.
And also, you technically weren't allowed to have drinks on the sales floor as a sales associate at Walmart, but the thing is that I was the only one who actually did anything, so they were like, listen, if that helps you get through the day, then be my guest.
At least they realized.
Yeah.
Just like, look, you're the only one doing shit. Just go ahead, it's fine.
Also, to be fair, the electronics department had the photo department, like, enclosed area, kind of, that I could just, like, put it in a back corner and no one would see it. And the sporting goods department had the sporting goods desk that they had to keep people, like, away from the gun case. So I could put it under that. So, like, in both of the places I worked, I had a place to put it that would not be seen by anyone.
Makes sense.
Fine. I fail to see a justification for dragging me along on your journey, but if you insist, I might as well go. Or I will go as well. But 12 is my witness. If you leave me behind to be devoured by some horrid abomination, I shall come back to haunt you.
Okay. Bye.
You know, I'd appreciate that.
But that's my job.
Listen, cute ghost girls are the best kind of ghosts. And usually the best type of girls.
Elaborate.
Cute ghosts. They float and stuff.
Alright, fair enough.
Take me to the Isles of Umbra, she bids. If it's as simple as... Oh, I see you've got a rid of passage. Alright then, climb aboard. Well, I'm glad that was resolved quickly.
She's like, look, no, I'm not gonna take you... Oh, wait, you got... Okay, you know what? Alright, fine. Get on.
Oh, hey, I'm on the Isles of Umbra.
Yay!
Well, if I had a flying mount, I could have just flown here.
You actually could have. That's not a joke. You actually could have.
Look, Ailport's right over there.
Yeah, exactly.
This doesn't seem all that bad. I'm not saying I'd like to build a summer home here, but... oh, the hell's with this. Here, take your pot and go on without me. You've harvested cryptic crystals before, right? So it isn't as though you require my assistance. Speak to the man guarding the gate. I'm sure he'll let you in. Now, if you'd please excuse me. I'm gonna go cry on the beach.
Look, do you blame her?
Oh, hey, it's a dungeon.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon, madam, but how did you come here? Access to the island is currently restricted. Have a warded pot. An old pot? I'm not sure I follow. Oh, I see. You wish to harvest a Cryptic Crystal? Sorry, friend, you may have to return empty-handed. The route Master Mimidoa gave you may grant access to the island, but only authorized personnel may proceed past this point. Why, you ask? Look up and see for yourself. I can't see anything. When that giant massive crystal struck the lighthouse, it caused severe damage to both the structure and the machinery within that once powered the beacon. Aye, contrary to what the small folk would have you believe, the fires of Pharaoh Sirius were not the product of a mage's thaumaturgy or a colossal arcane bomb, but an elaborate contraption fueled by ethereal energy. Repairs are still ongoing, but it's anyone's guess when they'll be complete. What's worse, all work has ceased since rumors of Walking Dead drove off our entire crew. Not that those rumors are incorrect. I've observed the fiends from a distance, at the ship graveyard to the south. What's drawn them to our shores is still a mystery, though. I'll make you a deal, Lucy. Help me unravel this mystery, and I'll bring you your Cryptic Crystal. In fact, I shall begin searching for one that satisfies your requirements. As for where to begin your inquiries to the situation, it just so happens that a party of 3 adventurers came ashore not long ago, seeking to scavenge valuable trinkets from the ship graveyard. I'd be surprised if they knew nothing of the undead infestation, so it might behoove you to question them. Okay. Hey, plasmoids. I remember when I was beating these things to death with a fishing rod in Mordona. You were there for that.
I know I was. I remember that too.
It's all there for talking. 5 bleeding years worth of erection in their cargo, but those queer dead things and that voice. Actually, the voice was quite nice. Okay. God, it's that voice, that single fleeting verse. I can still hear it. Stay clear of the southern shore, friend. I took every ounce of my strength to resist. Is it supposed to be ons, or are you supposed to pronounce it ounce still?
I have no idea.
I tend to say ons, just to separate it.
And I think it's supposed to be ons.
You saw them too, right? Dead people. Just shambling about without a care in the world, except when they do seem to care, that is, then start shuffling towards the water. Oh, they're like... Are they actually not dead, but they're just entranced by a siren song?
How'd you know?
Well, the voice and the everything that's been leading up to this point. Like, you can't just be in a place like Limps Limits and start talking about, oh, that voice, it sounds so nice, and make me not immediately think, oh, hey, there's a siren causing problems.
Yeah, right.
Stop
It's just Final Fantasy V.
Something familiar, as if... But that's impossible, they're all dead, aren't they? Oh, hey, this one has a banner image. But if they have returned, that would mean... Oh, I beg your pardon, I was just, thinking about something. Which reminds me, I received word that Master Mimidoa would be arriving any moment. Apparently he grew frustrated waiting for the sweet young lass with skin as soft as phoenix down to return. Which I'm assuming is you. What does he say if I'm a male character?
Oh, I've never played this game as a male character. I hope it's the same thing.
That sweet young lad. That sweet young lad with skin as soft as phoenix down. I don't know what sort of arrangement you had, but you should probably go and explain yourself. What are the chances that this guy gets captured by this siren?
Not 0. I know that much.
What's been keeping you in the shit? And it's getting any younger, you know. Yeah, some honey-voiced harlot's been calling out folks that wander near the ship graveyard, and it stirred up the dead and all. Bloody hells, this takes me back to my days as a cannon boy, sailing under old Miss Beard. But they wouldn't dare, would they? Not after the lesson we learned them last time. Bah, they bloody would. Though, wouldn't they? Praise their own pities. Some folks said as the first purge would be the last, but I knew. Deep down in me bones this day would come. And it has. I bet me bummy are sirens behind all this. Nay, not one of the sanguine variety, initiate. I speak of the other kind, them what's got feathers and lure sailors to a watered grave with their sweet, sweet song. Oh, but I don't end there. No, drowning's just the start. See, even in death, a man stays bound to the beast, forced to do his bid until the corpse can't do it no more. 'Tis a fate I wouldn't wish on me worst enemy. Set maybe and drink, and I'd regret it after. Anyway, 'tis up to us to stop this hellsborn hussy before she takes another soul. Of course, you can't send you marching off to war without these. The siren don't have no power over men, as can't hear a song. 'Tis lucky for you I carry a spare pair, and lucky for both of us I am a superstitious old sod, eh? Well, she ain't coming to us. We best head to her. To the ship graveyard and shit. Did you just give me a pair of like earplugs?
Pretty much.
Okay. Be fair, magic song. I don't know what else would stop it.
Yeah. Your innate magic powers called the Echo, I guess.
You know, just it's not like sound is carried through vibrations, and vibrations can get to you even through your plugs or anything.
Right. No, that's not like what happens at all.
Ship graveyard, hello. That doesn't look like any praying mantis I know of. Dead man's moan? Murder! Hiya! God, that made a horrible sound. What the? These things are horrifying.
Just a little bit.
Also, how are they still moving?
You're asking too many questions.
I thought they'd at least have some, like, rotting, like, skin and muscle left, but no, they're literally just skeletons.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know why I was trying to do Skeletor, but well, I guess I was trying to do Skeletor. Yeah. I'm not gonna try.
Hello, SpongeBob.
I was gonna say that was fucking miserable.
Yeah, because they said, like, they keep going until their bodies can't anymore. What about this body still can?
The bones.
There's nothing to pull them, though.
The bones.
Although, to be fair, that is a very good horror concept of, like, like, they're still stuck, like, processing, but they can't, like, move because all their, like, muscles are gone.
Mm. It's a rather terrifying idea.
Okay, Dead Man's Bone. Lancer 42. Okay, Mimido, I cleared out the zombies. What else do you want me to do? If she passes near the shore, she's sure to spy the campfire and come looking. It's just a matter of waiting now.
I will be right back. You're in the bathroom.
Hello, Siren. I'm here to stab you. Oh. History repeating. Synced as follows, 46. Okay. I don't think I learned anything since then, so I should have everything I use. Good thing I got my backup soda. I'm beginning to wonder if some slight bugger ain't spun us a yarn here. Well. Dang it, I was hoping he died. Quiet. You hear that? It's her. Okay, so this guy... We've established that this guy has bad hearing. And he's wearing earplugs. How the hell have we been talking to him this entire time?
Telepathically, I guess.
Look! Out over the water! She's come! Nisha, she's come! Ooh, she's pretty. I'm gonna stab her.
Immediate reaction. Ooh, she's pretty.
Why does she look more impressive than, like, Ifrit and Titan? Oh, wait, we
Yes.
haven't put in the earplugs yet for some goddamn reason. Quick, lass, shove the plugs in your ears and get ready for a fight. So that she realizes you're deaf to her ditty, she'll call on her thralls and we'll be up to our necks in corpses before you know it. Why are you here? Okay, he left. Goodbye. I'm glad you were here for some goddamn reason. With her embrace, find everything all. Fail. Defeat the thralls. Okay.
Boop. Kill them all.
Wow, Doomspike made that incredibly easy.
Yep.
Oh god, there's more of them.
I was gonna say, you didn't think it was over, did you?
No, I wished it was. I should probably still do, what the?
Still do your combo?
No, I was, should still do, Disembowel.
Probably, yeah.
Because that would boost the power of, Doomspike.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? You done yet? Oh, hey, there's 4 of them now. Wow, these guys suck. Paladin was breath of death rhythm. Dost thou not relent forever alone? Hello, bubble? Why is there a bubble here now? I'm concerned. Where's that bubble going?
It's going for you!
No, it's not.
I actually think it...
What the?
Alpine.
I love wherever one looks will shiver. The...
What happened?
Charmed Captain. Okay. Oh, hey, more people. I'm just concerned about the constantly increasing amount of bubbles with musical notes in them floating around.
Don't worry about them.
Are you sure? Because you tend to tell me to watch the things that are happening.
Don't worry about them.
Should I touch one?
Promise that
Oh god, they're coming
I
at me.
promise.
What the?
I was gonna say, I
Oh.
promise they're not coming after you or anything.
Well, they really weren't until like the very last second. They were just kind of spinning around. Heh. Am I alright? Ha! I'm better than that and shit. Happy as a sailor in a whorehouse I am. Of course, I'd be happier as a sailor with 2 whatsits if we got a songstress. But you can't have everything, can you? She'll not come crooning around here again, though. Not for a while, any road. If she does, well, we know what to do, don't we?
Okay. My internet just, like, shat itself there for a second.
Thanks for the help, bugger me. I've clean forgot your name. Remind me. Lucia? I don't recall having known this shit by that name. But if you're not me old mate, or what's his name? Why have you been so bloody helpful? Ah, never mind. Be seeing you, lassie. Okay. I was just waiting that entire time for the siren to actually attack me. But, turns out, no, it was just incredibly easy for like, no particular reason.
Yeah, you know.
Why didn't she attack me?
Shrug.
I guess her whole thing is that she doesn't, like, she's not actually, like, a fighter. She just trances people and then makes them fight.
Mm-hmm.
So once I killed all of them, she was like, well, I'm useless. Hey, David. How you doing? You mean it was a siren? But how were you able to resist her song? I see. I had heard Master Mimidoa was involved in the first purge, but I never actually... Haven't survived an ordeal like that. I can't blame him for carrying earplugs around with him. Anyway. Hey, you said anyway instead of any road. Anyway, I have something for you. The Cryptic Crystal you wanted, safely sealed within the pot, just like you requested. Please, take it with my compliments. What the? Mr. Group. Okay, so Santa did just go back to Ailport.
Yep.
Okay. I can appreciate that. What's up with the dungeon over here, though? I didn't actually go in it. I thought I was going to.
It is a level 50 dungeon, so you will not be going into that until... I actually don't know when that quest unlocks.
When I hit level 50, probably.
I mean, probably, but like... I don't know.
Oh, I can almost take on hunts.
I think you do have to do...
No!
Do you?
Don't tell me I have to do ARR for it, please.
You might have to.
Oh,
I don't know
it's you.
for certain.
Welcome back, Lucia. You're looking remarkably hale, I must say, and more importantly, alive. You are alive, aren't you?
No.
Have your dumb pot. Aha! The Conquering Hero returns bearing a gift. Might I have a closer look? Impressive. Very impressive indeed. Yes, I think you'll be quite pleased with this specimen. Congratulations, Lucia. Selfdom, if ever have I encountered a corrupted crystal composed of such a volatile overabundance of fire-aspected aether. What? You wanted a corrupted crystal composed of ice-aspected aether to counteract the effects of a raging wind? Well, this specimen won't help you there. Anyone who knows anything about the elements could tell you that. You'll just have to keep looking, I suppose. Santa? You are very cute. But I will push you off of that ledge. Don't fret now. I know exactly where to find a corrupted crystal comprised of ice-aspected aether. An associate of mine in Gridania has been studying the effects of one such crystal on living beings. What's that expression? I thought you'd be pleased to hear this news. It is not another wild dodo chase, I assure you. And what's even better is that this time you needn't use that warded pot of yours to protect yourself from the crystal's energies. Hedden's findings suggest that it is quite safe. Why, you ask? Well, let's just say it has undergone a unique process that has rendered such precautions unnecessary. Anyway, do not let me keep you. It's been a pleasure, Lucia. Come back and see me sometime, alright? Okay, I forgive you. Where do you go, Gridania now?
I'm just amused at how quickly you forgave her.
Hey, listen. She said to come back and see her sometime. Most cute girls I talk to don't say that. Do you actually ever talk to her again, ever? Like, in any context?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, who's in Gridania? Where are you? You're an old Gridania. Okay. That way. Hey, Hedden. Hayden? Hedden. I don't care. Greetings and salutations, Miss GameC, I presume. Sena informed me of your adventures in Ailport. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Though, as Professor Lambertain is fond of saying, no action taken in the name of science is ever truly wasteful. To the matter of hand, corrupted crystals possessing the properties you seek could be found in abundance at the standing courses following the calamity. Alas, that is no longer the case, and while there is at least one suitable crystal that remains to be found within the 12-wood, precisely where it is at any given moment is more difficult to say. Permit me to explain. You're familiar with Spriggans, yes? furry little rascals that are wont to seek out ores and other stones. Well, one such creature with an infamously insatiable appetite has single-handedly devoured every corrupted crystal in Twelvewood. Fortunately for you, these crystals take an eternity to digest, assuming they can even be digested. And I am reasonably confident that this one still resides within his gut. Quite fascinating, really. My theory is that this Giggity first consumed a corrupted crystal when... you couldn't care less about all this, could you? To the point then. Giggity seldom makes his presence felt unless there is particularly fine fodder to be had. Therefore, we shall require a lure, and I have precisely the sort you'll find it possible to resist. Simply place this true heart, I should set the story of the origin of its unusual name for another occasion, outside of the Spriggan's lair and wait for the opportune moment to pounce. As for the method by which you retrieve the crystal from his gut, I shall leave that to your discretion. Listen, as long as it works.